advanced functionality in the cloud. Steve McGovern is a founder and current managing director. He has over 23 years' experience in the fields of telecoms, media sales, pay TV, and regulatory. He's been a senior executive of several established companies, both domestically and internationally. They've been primarily associated with new and emerging markets and have required a strong sales and solution focus. For the past 11 years, he's been CEO of the My 1300 group of companies until the sale of the business in 2014. Steve's going to tell you the double story, but first, this short video to introduce the company.
Good morning, thank you for coming out nice and early. We're Dobber Corporation. What I want to do is just give you a quick overview of the company. We have a stand obviously outside where we'd be more than happy to take you through the details. I can talk about this for hours, so I get the hurry up from Melbourne. So we are going to do a quick overview. At the end of this, towards the end of this presentation, we're actually going to show you on the screen a product that we are releasing in about 3 weeks' time, which we think will have an impact on our market, which is a global market. And also, if you have any questions for us, we'd be more than happy to share a coffee or water with you and take you through what we do. So, we are a Melbourne company with an office in London. We're a small micro cap on the ASX, about 50 million market cap at the moment, trading about 50 odd 60 cents, I think, when I came up here this morning. We've got a global story, so our customers are all around the world, and we have our first outpost is in London, which we opened 9 months ago. So, we are the world's only native cloud recording platform. I'm going to tell you a little bit about call recording in a minute, and then I'm going to move very quickly from that into what I guess the end game is really about. So, in call recording, we transform the industry, and by doing that, the result is that we reduce costs, and we're very quick to deploy. We open up new markets, we transform existing ones. And as you'll see in a few minutes, we provide a platform that goes beyond recording into true world-first telco features. You had a quick look at an overview video. There are 3 components to our strategy. The first one is to nail down the call recording aspect. We'll show you the playback opportunity, which you probably have no idea what we're talking about at the moment, so that's good. And then intelligence is more about product than it is about the executive team, but that's where we actually use what we collect for business workflow and for accretive revenues value to both our company, our partners, and also the end users. So, very quickly about call recording. Call recording's a traditional industry. It's a multi-billion dollar industry. To give you an idea, the two major players, one of them is worth a market cap of $7.5 billion, the second one is $5.7 billion, and the whole industry has one user case. I think you know what that is. It's to actually determine what was actually said retrospectively on a phone call. And then from that you actually get, for compliance reasons, regulatory, call centres use it for a whole raft of reasons, but it is one user case. And the reason why it's one user case is it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. The technology available in the market doesn't support anything else other than that, and therefore the expectation level from call recording is that one user case. So our industry is hardware, licenses, none of which scale to the level that we disrupt this market. And so we go directly to the source of calls, because that's where we're recording them. And for us, the source of calls is actually in the telco sector. So our customers are telecommunications providers, large, small, intermediate. And if you check out some of our announcements, particularly some recent ones, you'll see a full range of that even in the last month. So very quickly about the telco sector. If you're familiar with the telco sector, you'll know that the core revenues in telco are declining, which is call revenues. And so all telcos are looking for value-added services to complement their existing core products. We are one of those services. And so telcos are moving to what's called unified communications. And the largest provider of that worldwide is a company you will probably not have heard of called Broadsoft. They're a US company. I think the important figures are that they actually supply unified communications networks to 600 telcos around the world, including 23 of the top 25. Our product is built to sit inside that platform. So our target market in the very, very short term is 600 telcos. Now, as I say, we're a micro cap on the ASX. We listed last year, and we went to the market and said that our first target for this year was to get 20 telcos as partners across a range. And again, we can tell you what that means in terms of potential investment, rewards, return on investment, etc. Happy to talk to you about that outside. We are interoperable with this platform, and our message to the market, which is our telco partners, at the moment they would perceive, every telco we talk to would perceive that they might consider putting call recording in for between 2 or 5% of their business customer base, because that 2 to 5% represents call centre and financial services. We go to a telco and say, enable your entire base. Nobody's ever said that to them before because nobody else can do it. So because we're built natively into Amazon, and it's easy to say that Amazon scales, but we're not Amazon, every component of our application scales at the same rate. So we can walk up to a Telstra, for example, and say, we want to actually enable recording across your entire 12, 15 million mobile user base. Again, nobody's ever said that to a telco before. And the challenge we have as a pioneer, of course, is that nobody ever believes us. So one of the attributes that we have is that our connectivity is very, very simple. So normally it would take a telco months or years to deploy call recording and test it. The record for us is connectivity within 7 minutes, which was done recently by an Australian telco. So within 7 minutes, they can go from talking to us to actually recording calls on their network. So let's not talk about the one user case anymore, because our core attribute is that we have this unlimited scale. So a recording server normally handles between 250 to 400 concurrent calls. We can handle unlimited concurrent calls, which allows us to walk into the telcos with the message that we give them. Backing this scalable platform is a productized open API structure, which means that we're really all about capturing voice data. So whilst recording is great, and most of you have probably got very binary views on recording, although I do notice that nobody's left the room yet, which normally happens when you've got stockbrokers in the room. So some of you will say, well, I don't want all my calls recording. Well, neither do I. So because we've got the scale to be able to enable the whole base, not only do you have the traditional offerings, which is always on, but you can actually have on demand as well, so you can pick and choose which calls you want to record. Now, in fairness, I've never been a stockbroker yet that wouldn't like to at least record one call every now and then for those extremely complex clients that sometimes give them lots of different information. So we're a scalable platform, rapid to deploy, and we're backed by APIs. And the APIs basically enable development communities to use the data we're collecting for things that haven't even been thought of yet, and monetize calls. So I was with a very large telco in Australia with a CTO about 6 weeks ago. They have a 5-year plan, and we said, well, we were sponsored internally by their network engineers, and we said, your DNA is actually your calls. Today, there are millions of calls going across your network. You can be monetizing those calls in ways that you don't even know exist at the moment. So over the next 5 years, where you're telling me it's not about building things, it's about connectivity, people are actually going to design applications that use your data to monetize for them, for you, and of course for Deborah as well. Now, just to give you an idea, this is our most recent announcement, which we released on Monday. This is one of the largest telcos in the world called Techknow. Their client that requested this is a large multinational global Swedish retailer. So I don't know how many of those you know, but you can probably understand who that might be. And the key takeaway is in the middle there, so we actually deployed this from a requirement to production in 11 weeks. And I think the quote here from the head of business marketing at Telenor in Sweden is in the middle. A more traditional hardware-based approach would have taken months or years to actually deploy. So that's how we record calls. We're all about capturing as much voice data as possible so that the end user can build it into their workflow, which might be a bank who's trying to have a holistic approach with its customers, or it might be a small business as well. What I want to show you in a second is how we change the game. So I'm going to give you one example of what happens when you can enable a total database of a telco. And what we're going to show you here is something called double playback. And ostensibly what it does is it's Foxtel IQ for your phone calls. It's the only one in the world, and we'll release it next month. So the premise of it is, I'm driving the car, I get a call, I don't know who is on the call because it's a number I don't recognise. It could be somebody trying to sell me something, it could be one of the lawyers next door, or it could be something with value. Turns out it's something with value. Normally, I have 2 options at the end of that call. I either say, thanks very much for the 20-minute conversation, I've now got your number in my phone, I'll call you back tomorrow and we'll go through it with you. Or, here's my contact details, please contact me tomorrow and I'll go through it with you. What I'll show you now is how you can actually rewind, fast forward, pause, search, resume on the actual phone call you just had. That's a phone call, I'm sure you all know what that is. There's my mobile number if you want to harass me afterwards, that's okay. And we record this actually on Tuesday, where we went through the process of, you don't do anything with children, animals or live technology. So we've actually just kept the recording of it for today. What's happening is the call's going into Dover. Now you've got our logo here. This will actually be the telco's logo, the telco's branding. There's all the recent calls that I've got. Okay, well, Adrian in fact has got. I now have a choice. I can either go to that top call, which is the one we just made, and I can keep it, or I can let it go. If I let it go, it will stay in my portal, or it's usable for me for 3 days before it disappears, okay? So, the recording we made on Tuesday was actually a bit of Monty Python. It was My Dog Has No Nose, How Does It Smell? Awful, a bit like this presentation. And what we've got here is we can scroll back and forward to different points in that phone call. When it's finished, I can tag it, I can put notes on it, and then crucially I can share it. So we've just recently been to the Australian Financial Advisors Conference, where they want to give advice over the phone and literally just at the end of the phone call, share that recording with the end user as part of an overall holistic statement of advice compliance process. You can add comments. So who's going to use it? You're probably thinking, well, it's only a business use. I gave you the example of a business call in the car. The reality is, when I go home, I'm actually staying for the weekend, when I go home on Sunday, my wife Maxine will no doubt welcome me back to the airport on the phone, and then while I'm tired and want to go home, she'll actually tell me to stop at Coles and pick up 15 things from Coles. Normally I grab the trolley, phone her back and say, what is it you want? In a much nicer way than that, obviously. Now I can actually go back into the call and go through the list. You're looking at it in our brand. Okay, there are features on it, which means that you've got whitelist and blacklist.